Hey, what's up, guys? It's Uncle Freedom coming to you before I go to work. I'm down at my workbench working on some stuff, so we're going to do another raw from the workbench today. I kind of like doing these videos. You guys may not like doing them, but I like doing them because this isn't the same like overly research stuff. This is just me at my bench working on stuff, talking to you about what I'm doing. The last one of these had to do with replacing magazine springs because I suffered some failures on the range running Warren +5 extensions. I had mag springs that died. Those mag springs, when I pulled them out, were over 2 inches shorter in length because they'd just given up the ghost. And it's important that we work on that kind of stuff. But I've been messing with some newer stuff that I've kind of been playing around with because of the nature of what I do as a part of what I do. There's a lot of training involved in what I do. And one of the pieces that we use all the time is trainers, like mock trainers for stuff, right? You take something like my El Nino push dagger, right, from ShivWorks. I have a blue version of this with a blue handle and just a dulled out, completely blunted metal blade so that I can practice and train with something that weighs, draws, and does exactly what my other thing does. And then there's other companies that are kind of doing that stuff out there as well. Everybody's seen them. Blue guns, green guns, orange gun, right? If you get like a Blackhawk, they're green and orange. If you get blue guns, they're blue. Asp makes the red gun. Right? Asp makes a bunch of stuff. Like they even have an AR version, right? With a detachable magazine. And the magazine's weighted. That's really cool. So this is the MR920 in an Asp red gun. I like this stuff. Asp stands for Armament Systems and Procedures. Most people know Asp because they make expandable, expanding batons. They also make really, really good handcuffs. So, but they also make training tools. As it was referred to me when I talked to them, it was like, we're a training company that sells gears to fund our training problem, right? So they're a cool company. They're a friend of mine. Like I say in all of these, like, subscribe, share, tell a friend, because that's how we defeat the algorithmic overlords at YouTube. We defeat that by subscribing, sharing, and commenting on stuff. That's how we do it. If you wanted to know more about the things that I do or to get in touch with me in any way, shape, or form, you can check out the website. It's violentalgebra.com. Gentleman that built that for me put a lot of work into it. We're not completely done yet as I film this, which would be January 22nd on a Wednesday morning before I go to work. But we have things like there's a page with all my friends on the last side. So if you were going to do it and use those links, it helps me out and you still get your gear. That's pretty cool. There's going to be a separate thing that's got like rifle build list, handgun build list, shotgun build stuff, ultimate duty rifle build stuff. We'll have a training one that's got like my actual open LE range day. Is going to be really cool. Along with round counts, targets with downloadable things for you to get your targets to download and print them yourself. Time standards I'm looking for, ammo loadouts, all that's there. And that's the actual range days that I put on every week for law enforcement. So I figured it'd be fun to share that with you guys and let you guys get in on the action. But, as a training person, like we use these things all the time. And Asp did something that I thought was very cool because instead of normally, what was cool about these is you could draw and it's a totally inert plastic option that allows you to build your grip, acquire your sights, do all of the things that you would normally do. But Asp stepped it up again because we actually have detachable magazines, right? What's really cool is they have a weighted version. It's kind of denoted by the plus sign on the bottom of it. This weighs as much as a normal mag would, so I get that very similar weight. Something else that's very cool about it is that I can actually use real Glock mags in there, which I kind of thought was cool. But yeah, the Asp red guns, I'm a fan, man. They're really cool. I've been messing around with them. It's been great. But something I found when I was finding those springs, right, was because I'm always looking for another option, right? I'm a huge proponent of the Warren extended base plates, right? Like there's zero denying that. Like I am a huge fan. Like they are my favorite version of a base plate, right? I like them. But when I was ordering those springs to replace my springs, like just springs, freaking YouTube, not selling guns, not selling anything here. I don't sell stuff, right? I'm just talking to you about it. But they have a Ghost Moab, right? So this is the mother of all base plates, and that is a +6. That is the easiest to install +6 I've ever freaking seen in my life. There is no fighting with this thing. It's awesome. And it comes with that +13% kind of spring that I showed. It's also got really, really huge lips on the bottom of it. So you can strip these guys, which is really freaking cool. When we look at it, like if we just looked at this gun, right? So I could take this guy, like I can really get a hold of that. So if I just needed to strip this guy, like, it's pretty cool, man. Like that's a pretty outstanding thing. And the thing is, they're not like, these are like 20 galactic credits to get your hands on. Like, it's pretty freaking cool. I've been impressed. And I was so impressed that I immediately went on and got like 10 more. So they have no connection to me at all. Ghost doesn't know who I am. If you're watching, I like your springs, and those are cool. So go team, right? But like I've been kind of I've been watching, YouTube, as I do most times. Most guys that create content on YouTube watch YouTube. Because we like to see what other guys are doing. And I've met some guys that are super cool from doing this stuff. Like Magic Prepper is a great example. That guy's really awesome at what he does, and I've really enjoyed watching him evolve as a gun guy now that he lives in a place that isn't communist. But then we have the other side of it, which I don't quite understand. Like, so we have like the guys that put out good information, and then we have the guys that put out entertainment for the most part, right? And then we have somewhere in the middle, we have the guy that puts out stuff, but he needs to be known more. So like his goal is to crap on everybody. I don't understand that, right? Like, I've never been a fan of making your entire personality whatever that thing is, right? Like, your entire personality should not be that PSA sucks, right? I do a whole video on Just As Good, and like we start talking about the reality of Just As Good in that video. It's a great time. I'll leave a link to it. But one of the things I mentioned in there is it just as good? No. But is it good enough for you? Maybe. And that's okay, right? Get it. It's good enough for you. Run it until you find its limitations and it's no longer good enough for you, and then upgrade it, right? If you just got the money, get something good out of the gate so that you don't have to go through that learning phase. But I'll never understand making my entire personality about that thing, right? Like, I love nice, fancy, cool stuff, like as much as the next guy, right? I like all the fancy whiz-bang gadgets. Like, I've got a Glock 45 with a KOA coming in now. The Ruger RX-M is another one that like everybody want to know about. I was an acro guy. Like, I played with this stuff, but it's never been my entire personality, right? Like, I am unabashedly a huge acro P2 fan, right? I know people hate it, right? And there are a few guys that don't like the acro P2 that I'm like, cool, that is legitimate because of what they do and the amount of rounds and the amount of time they have on it. I understand where they're coming from. But then you have guys that, it's usually the guys that like I said, their personality is a piece of equipment. And those guys are the ones like, it's crap because it's badly designed, or it's this and it's this. And I'm like, really? So how many rounds do you have on it? And it's usually answered with like, I don't have one, or I only had it for like 500 rounds and I got rid of it because I didn't like it. That's cool. You didn't like it, but you have no idea of its capability. Or I talk about this in another video where I talk about we eat ourselves. We're our own worst enemy in the gun world. Because it's a lot easier to get popular if you're shitting on people than it is for you to just continually put out good, solid information. I don't do drama that well. My whole job is drama. Like, everything I do outside of this is drama. I get paid to insert myself into your bad decision. Like, that's my job. But I'm also the guy that like, dude, I just like gear, right? Like, it's fun. Even some less expensive stuff. Like, this is a Vector optics, right? So this is a Chinese red dot, right? Runs on 2 AAAs. It's on a Unity riser that costs almost as much as the red dot does. This thing's actually pretty cool. Like, will it survive? I don't know. We're going to find out together, but it's a cool option, right? Like, I'm not disappointed in that at all. Same thing, like, people hate on Taurus, man, but like, so this guy is clear. Those are all dummy rounds. Those are battlefield blanks from some active shooter training and stuff, but they make great dummy rounds. But stuff like this is a 905, right? So double action, single action, snub nose revolver. Pretty cool, man. It's a neat gun. But you'll also, like, I don't know, I've also noticed like this huge trend of like, I used to be a part of this trend that was like, you can't carry that because it's useless, right? But then I started talking to like actual bad dudes, like the real ones that have done some real freaking work, and they did real work in places that were super high speed and dangerous, like more like, and not deployed, like in America. And those guys are like telling me the virtues of a 22 long rifle revolver. And I'm like, what? And then I realized pretty quick I was wrong. So, I mean, you got things like, I have this guy. So this is a Ruger LCR, 22 long rifle. The thing loaded weighs like 15 ounces. There's going to be some cool stuff on this coming up. You guys are going to really enjoy it. But I don't know. I don't understand the whole like drama is my mentality, drama is my personality, and like I have to crap on people constantly and constantly be in some kind of state of turmoil. Like I don't get that, right? Like life is too short to do that in. And it's usually always like those people that are like, you know, they want to at you about how many matches you shot or how long you've done this or how long you've done that. And the problem is they pick fights with people like me, and I'm like, dude, I joined the Army 23 years ago. Like, I'm old-ish, adjacent. And I teach and shoot all the time. Like, you start learning what works and what doesn't work, you know. But I don't know, man. We're gonna do some cool stuff. So I'm pretty excited. I actually got, like I said, I got a whole bunch of these on the way. Pretty stoked on that. Got a new rifle comes in this week, the Griffin Armament, Mark II 16-inch gun. Be pretty cool when that shows up. I'm looking forward to messing with it. Quite honestly, I think it's going to be cool. I have the new HRT 5.56 G2 can on the way as well. That ought to be fun. But I'm really looking forward to doing some new stuff, which brings me to kind of the crux of this. 11 minutes into this long-winded from the Workbench Raw video. Hopefully you guys have hung out with me. This is what my brain does when I'm not on camera talking to you guys. I'm constantly working through stuff. What do you guys want to see more of, right? Like I have plans to do a lot of training stuff this year, bring you guys along some low light stuff, some like comprehensive CCW guides, lots of different guns, optics, like just a lot of fun stuff this year, like really informative, good information. Patreon's going to get a lot more wild this year. The Discord server is going to be a lot of fun. But what do you guys want to see me do more of, right? Like, do you want to know about revolvers? Do you want me to go back and redo the top 10 defensive rifle ammunitions? Do you want me to go back and detail that stuff? Do you want me to do more medical stuff? Do you want me to talk about something like are revolvers obsolete, or you know, revolver versus semi-auto or double action single? I don't care. Just, you know, different optics, right? Let me know what it is you guys want to see, and I will do my best to bring that to you, because after all, I do what I do right now for you. Because you guys watch what I do. It's a great time. I enjoy myself. I enjoy making these videos. I like that it's at a point where I make enough money doing YouTube videos that I'm only out of pocket about 50% to make stuff, which is kind of cool. And to me that's fun, right? Because like at the end of the day, like I'm a dude that works full time as a cop, but I'm also a father of 3. All girls, right? And I have all the same bills that everybody else has. So if I can spend less money and bring you the same amount of stuff, that's pretty cool. So anyway, random ramblings from the Workbench today. Looking at some cool stuff and kind of like, you know, I'm really excited about those new extensions, man. Like, I don't think you understand. But anyway, guys, I'm Uncle Freedom. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Until next time, I'll see you later.